Hi everyone, Richard Winstone here, the regulator guy. It's just a quick video to talk to you about the Ofgem price cap announcement today, which I'm sure you've already seen, and just a few words about the Ofgem regulatory reform project that I'm working on, that most of you have signed a petition on. I want to give you a couple of updates on both of those things. So first of all, the price cap announcement today. From the 1st of July, the price cap is going to be falling by £122. That can be a deceiving figure. The price cap's a very complicated tool, which it's hard for me to explain on a video in a short way of why that's a slightly deceiving figure. But I have written a blog on the price cap to try and simplify some of the basic elements of the price cap and some things you should take into consideration when viewing this price cap reduction. So please do read that blog. It's in the description below. And if you've signed the petition, it's in the update I've posted to you today. There'll be a link in there somewhere to it. So give it a read. I think it's a really useful and interesting explanation of how the price cap works, at least on a sort of a slightly deeper level than how most of us understand it on the day-to-day. So please do give that a read. But yeah, it's good news that the price cap is coming down. Ofgem have been continuously saying over the last few years, over the last year or so, that the price cap is likely to level out around about where it is now. It's not going to go back to pre-crisis levels. There's a couple of reasons for that. There's still some volatility in the wholesale market, but as I posted in that blog, Ofgem have added around £200 to £250 worth of additional charges into the price cap that are there permanently. So part of the reason we're never going to get back to the old prices is because Ofgem made 20 or so changes over the last 3 years that have increased the cap incrementally, and now there's just an extra 200 quid worth of costs in there. So we're never going back to where it was until the price cap's overhauled. So you should be aware of that. But as I said, read the blog post. It will give you a bit more insight and hopefully help you understand how the price cap works a little bit better. And then the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is obviously this project that I'm starting for the Ofgem, a call for Ofgem regulatory reform. I haven't done a video on this yet. I've obviously created a petition. I've posted a couple of updates and a blog post, again in the description for this video below. But I haven't spoken to you about it on a personal level. So I just wanted to give you a bit of an explanation as to where this came from, why I'm doing it, what you can expect from it, how it's going to work, how you can support, all of that sort of stuff. So to start with, obviously a lot of you have followed me over the last 3 years on my work with Ofgem and in the energy market. And a lot of you have seen me get angry and upset over some of the decisions Ofgem have made, some of the announcements from energy suppliers when they get 10 times record profit levels, things like that. I'm obviously quite passionate about the work and kind of got to a point at the beginning of this year where I realized if you put everything that I've seen in the last 3 years into one big report, people might pay a bit more attention and see that there's some problems. I understand that I see it because I work on it on a day-to-day basis, but not everyone does see that. And if you're going to make a big report listing a bunch of problems, you should probably have some solutions. So that's what this report is. I'm going to list out various problems that I've seen, along with evidence to support those claims and the problems that I've witnessed. Things like the director of Ofgem, whose wife held shares in SSE for 22, 23 months while he was a director. It's a conflict of interest. There's a policy that says they can have a conflict of interest for 9 months but need to be removed. Ofgem failed to adhere to their own conflict of interest policy and then didn't really do anything as a punishment and didn't tell us or anyone else that this happened. That's obviously a problem that needs highlighting. The prepayment meter scandal, when I approached Ofgem, when we spoke to Ofgem about it, as soon as it hit the news, the same director actually, told us that they were aware of this problem of the illegally force-fitting prepayment meters into the homes of vulnerable people, and that they were already talking to suppliers about how to handle that situation and stop it from happening. But the ban on force-fitting prepayment meters didn't come in place until after it hit the news. And having a regulator that's guided by media and not doing the right thing as soon as they see a problem is a problem. On top of that, obviously, the 20 or so price increases and the fact that they never listen to consumer groups and charities when it comes to anything price-related in the cap. There's been a zero, not single, not one decrease in the price cap, in a price cap element, in an element of the price cap that Ofgem have consulted on over the last 3 years. So yes, we've seen decreases, but those are natural decreases as costs fall, wholesale costs have gone back down. That's not Ofgem making decisions. Decision-making decreases haven't happened by Ofgem over the last 3 years, but we've seen 20 or so decision-making increases by Ofgem over the last 3 years. That's my problem. So all of these problems, I'm going to put them into a big report and come out with a few recommendations for Parliament. Now, the issue I have here is that I'm not going to lie, I was working under the assumption we were going to have an autumn, possibly winter election, sort of October, November time was the predictions I was working on. And that would have given me a few months to put this together. So when I started the petition 10, 15 days ago, that was the aim, and I would have had a few months to put this together. Obviously, the election is now in 6 weeks. I'm not going to get this report done in 6 weeks. There's too much work to be done on it, but I do hope to have it done in 2 to 3 months. So we'll still be in the early days of the new Parliament. I will rush it as much as I can and hope to get that closer to the 2-month mark. So they're sort of 2 weeks into the new government. And then we would hope that they would implement some of these recommendations as policy changes in their first 100 days to try and steer the energy market in the right direction. So that's the current hope and ambition. I'll be working on that, as I said, over the next couple of months. I'll be posting updates on my blog, so please do go to my website. It's theregulatorguy.co.uk. Subscribe to the blog if you want to keep up to date, although I'll probably also post those on my Twitter, at Richard Winstone. So yeah, feel free to follow me there as well instead. But as I have updates, I'll post them. And what I need from you guys in terms of support, first of all, is to share this petition around. We need to get people vocal. When it comes to calling for government to make changes, I'll be asking for people to email their MPs with the report and with recommendations of your own. And obviously, the more noise we can make at the start of the new government, the better, the more likely they are to listen to us. They will want to be making a difference and pleasing the people effectively, pleasing us. So they will listen to our suggestions, hopefully, if enough of us are suggesting it. So I need your support in terms of those things. Additionally, I'll be crowdsourcing for funding for this project. So as an explanation on that, I want complete transparency here. I no longer work for a company. I was a director of Over 50s Money, and I left that at the end of March to become the regulator guy. It's something I'm doing independently, and I am not receiving funding from anywhere at the moment. I was in the process of raising funding for this project before the urgency sort of kicked in a little bit, and I'm still in that process. So I'm still approaching a few companies that I've had conversations with where I'm hoping to get some of the funding. There are some grants that I can apply for online, and I have, so hopefully I'll hear back from those soon. But I'm also doing crowdsourcing to try and get the funding in, hopefully a little bit earlier, to help allow me to do this work now. So the issue I have is that if I don't get the funding, I can't afford to do this work. I'll have to do other work where I am being funded. That's the issue with doing my own project rather than a project given to me by a company, if that makes sense. So once I've got the crowdsourcing page up and ready, I will let you guys know, and I hope you can contribute anything you can. But for the time being, that's not important. What is important is sharing this petition around and getting more people to sign. Whilst we're talking about funding, because it is an awkward thing to discuss, one thing I will be doing is, in my next video, explaining where that funding's going, how much is going towards salary, how much is going towards surveys or other reports that I need produced, exactly how much I need to raise and how much I've raised from other sources of funding, just to give you guys an inside view of exactly where that money is going. So I'm going to try and do it similar to the Good Law Project, where they crowdsource their funding, but there's complete transparency. I don't at any point when you're questioning where your money is going or how much is being raised. All of that will be open book policy. You can see everything. But that's for a future date when I have the crowdsourcing pages ready. As I said, for now, I'm going to start working on the project and continuing fund sourcing elsewhere. And I'll be posting updates regularly over the next couple of weeks. So please, if you do want to keep engaged with this project, then subscribe to my newsletter on my blog, theregulatorguy.co.uk. Please continue to share this petition around. I'm going to be posting a couple more times on the petition over the next few weeks, asking everyone to share. Hopefully we can reach 100,000 signatures in the next few weeks, considering we've reached 45,000 in the first almost 2 weeks. I think it's been 12 days since I started it. I think we can make this petition grow quite large, quite quickly. It's clearly something people are interested in supporting. Final note, I just want to say thank you for your support. If you've gotten to this part into the video as well, I really appreciate it. None of this work from day one, 3 years ago, when I started, none of this work would have been possible without the support of everyone that signed the first petition and those of you that continue to sign my petitions. And email your MPs and email Ofgem and make phone calls and post on Facebook and Twitter and show your support for all of the work we've been doing. This isn't a thing that I've done, it's a thing we've done. I may have been leading it, but none of it would have been possible. I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't getting such support and seeing how important it was to everyone else. I thought it was just me that was complaining about energy bills or the way Ofgem run the market, but it turns out a lot of people are frustrated with them. And I think this project can actually make a real difference in moving them towards making the right decisions for consumers and not suppliers, and actually offering the protection that we expect from our regulator, which is severely missing right now. Anyway, thank you everybody. Sorry if some of that was a bit of a ramble. I appreciate your support and I'll be back next week. Thank you.